Hi and welcome to another episode of Brooklyn's World. So here I go. I am just about to walk into the hospital to get my radioactive injection, and this better not hurt. Waiting. I've just come out of the hospital and the injection, it really stung. I don't know what is in that stuff. But then I had to go into this machine thing and get scanned, and the whole thing took about 45 minutes. So now I get to go home and come back in 3 hours and get some more scans. See you then. So I just got back from my appointment for the bone scan, and wow, that was a bit interesting. So first I had to go into the little room, and they were going to give me the injection of the radioactive stuff that they have to put into your system. But my body was too cold. So before they could do that, they had to wrap me up in blankets and put heat packs all over me so I could warm up a bit. Then when I was warm enough for them, they gave me the injection, and I have to say it really hurt. And then afterwards, it really stung. So I had a stingy arm for the entire time that I was there, which was really, really annoying. After that, I then had to get some scans just taken of my arm, just by holding my arm like this on a little table thing. So that was all right. And then they put me into the machine. I was in that machine for 45 minutes on my back with, and I'll try and do it now, my arm up like this, and then my other arm in the same position as well. So both arms up like this, lying down for 45 minutes while this machine went over me and whirled around me and did all these other things. And then once that was over, I got to go home to come back 3 hours later. Now for my second lot of scans. So I'm back home now for the second time, and this time the appointment wasn't as bad because there was no injection involved. So that made me very, very happy. And then once again, I just had to get the scans of my arm done with my arm placed on the table. And then I went in the machine, and that whizzed around me and made lots of noises and pushed me in and out, and things went round and round me for another 45 minutes, and then it was all over. This time I still had to have my arms up above my head, but my fractured arm did not like this one little bit and was not cooperating and would not stay where it was meant to without it giving me a massive amount of pain. So when I finally found a position that they were happy with and that I was happy with, they actually had to restrain my arms and my chest, basically tie me to the bed thing that goes into the machine so that I didn't move. So that was an extra little bit of a challenge, but we got through it. We're all done. And now I just have to wait 10 days before I get the results. Fingers crossed, everything's okay. The day after I had my bone scan, I had an appointment with my lupus clinic. And a good thing that came out of that is my broken arm has not had any impact on my lupus. Everything is still stable, so everything in regards to that is just going to stay as it is. All of my medication the same, everything just the same. So that was really positive. But one thing that did come up is I did have a few strange results in the blood tests, which they said would need a bit of further investigation. They were also a little bit concerned that I had fractured my arm. And when they looked back in their records, they saw that the last bone density scan that I had I think that was back in 2018, showed that I had low bone density, and basically I had osteopenia, and I was right at the very, very borderline of having osteoporosis. I kind of wish that someone had told me this at the time. So because of the interesting results that I got from some of the blood tests, plus I now have a fracture, plus the history of osteopenia, the lupus clinic now wants me to go and see an endocrinologist who hopefully will be able to sort all of that out for me. It was a long 10 days wait between when I had my bone scan and when I had my appointment back with the orthopaedic team at the hospital. I was very nervous because I wanted to know the results of the bone scan. What was this tumour? I had some x-rays done first, and then I went down to clinic. The doctor that came to see me, I have to say, was not very helpful at all. Surprise, surprise. He didn't listen to me. He was not very helpful, and it was a really disappointing appointment. The first thing that he told me is my fracture has not healed, and hasn't even healed a tiny bit, which is a bit unusual because it's been 6 weeks now and it really should have healed, or at least have started to start healing. I would need to be in a sling for another 3 weeks. So I think my arm has a little bit of attitude, but it's not surprising considering who its owner is. He randomly just sort of mentioned that if it doesn't heal in a few more weeks, then most likely they will just remove that part of the bone, because apparently your arms don't really need that part to be able to function properly. We discussed my lupus, and I mentioned to them that the rheumatologist would like me to have another bone density scan just to see exactly what my score is at the moment, and to see if I've bridged over to osteoporosis yet. And I asked him if he could organise that up here where I live, instead of me having to drive 3 hours each way to go down to my rheumatologist to get it. And basically he refused and said, get your doctor to do it. This doctor was just not listening to me. He told me 3 times throughout the appointment that I must start to take calcium and vitamin D tablets every single day. And I told him at least 3 times back that I've been taking these supplements every single day for the last 10 years from the day that I was diagnosed with lupus. But he just kept repeating it to me again and again and again. I had to bring up the topic of the tumour and ask what was the tumour. And the first thing that he said was, what, there's no tumour? And I said, yes there is. It's been seen on an x-ray, a CT scan, and on a bone scan, and I'm just wondering what it was. So he has a look through my records, and then he starts debating with me where I actually had that test done. And he mentioned a place, and I said, no, I had it here in this hospital. And he said, no, you had it at this other place. And I said, no, I had it here. I think I know where I had it, and I only had it 10 days ago. So I definitely had it here. He didn't really say anything, and then had a better look at the computer and said, oh, yes, you did have it here. So then I had to ask again, what were the results? What is this tumour? And he said, oh, there's nothing to discuss. Just go and talk to your doctor about it. and that was the end of that. He would not tell me anything else. So I left this appointment a bit deflated, still in a sling, and with no real answers to exactly what's going on or exactly what this tumour was. When I got home though, I read all of the reports that I had gathered while I was at the hospital, because I know now never to trust what doctors say and to always get copies of any scans and the reports that come with them. So I was having a look through that, and lo and behold, there was a diagnosis of my tumour on these reports. And the results were, I most likely have an Enchondroma. At least I can relax now and know that it isn't something terrible that's growing in my arm. And now I'll just endeavour to find out a little bit more about it and see if anything's going to be done about it, or if they'll just leave it alone. So that's where I am with things at the moment. Still in a sling, which I have to say I'm getting very sick of after 6 weeks, and I'm not looking forward to another 3 weeks of being so restricted in my right arm. But it is what it is for now, and I'll just keep on keeping on. Please send me lots of healing vibes. Thank you again for watching and supporting my channel. I really do appreciate it.